Welcome to phase 3. This phase depends on the previous phase 2 where we created networks. And here we are going to create the Wi-Fi's, assign the stuff network to it, create the Wi-Fi for IoT and create the Wi-Fi for guest network, and we will enable hotspot. So as you can see, this is my dashboard. And from here, of course, we're going to go into settings and show you what we configured the last time. This is our networks. We configure these networks in the phase 2. I'm going to go into Wi-Fi here and I'm going to click create new, and let's create the Wi-Fi SSID for staff members. I'm going to put some password here and I'll choose which network I want to map to this SSID. It's going to be staff in my case, and that's it. I don't need to change anything here unless there is a reason to do that. Let's say we want to use WPA 3 instead of 2. I'm going to go switch to manual, scroll down, and here I have an option to use WPA 3 if I want to. I also have ability to turn off the 2.4 GHz or 5.0 GHz. And I also have the ability to choose from which APs I want this SSID to be broadcasted. I can choose one AP only or all of them at the same time. I'm going to choose all here because I'll have staff members everywhere. So I need to use these two APs. And then let's create the IoT SSID. For that, I'm going to click again. I'll do IoT here. Put some password for IoT, and then let's choose the IoT. And for the IoT, I want to make some changes. I want to make enhanced IoT connectivity so it disables 5 GHz. I don't care really because I don't have any IoT device that supports 5 GHz. I think, well, at least I know all of them support 2.4 GHz, and the bandwidth from 2.4 GHz, it's more than enough. I'm gonna leave it everything as is, WPA 2, that's for sure, because I don't think there's any IoT devices supporting WPA 3, maybe some Apple devices, but not every device. So I'll click add Wi-Fi network. And third one is gonna be our guest network. Now on the guest network, we'll do more work here. Let's do guest. And I'm gonna skip the password part because I don't want to have password here on the SSID. I want the users to log into a web page and put the password there, not during the Wi-Fi connectivity. So first, let's choose it's gonna be the guest network, and then I'm gonna switch manual. And here I have ability to enable hotspot. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll add the Wi-Fi network. Now let's go back to the guests. And did you notice that we don't have the password here? That means the phone or the laptop, it doesn't matter, they can connect to the Wi-Fi without the password. But in order to gain the access to the internet and surf the internet pages, they need to actually go through the captive portal. And for that, we are going to click this guy here, Hotspot portal, and configure. We can name it whatever we want. It's going to be YouTube Lab IT Solutions Network, right? And then save. Okay, this is visible. This is okay. Let's go first to settings and then authentication, okay? On the settings, if you scroll down, you have authorization access. And this is to block the access to the internal subnets. So even if you are on the user network, even if you map the Wi-Fi to the user network, that network has access to the users, these settings here can still prevent guests from going to your internal networks because pretty much all the private IP addresses are here, and access to these addresses are restricted for the guest users that go through the captive portal, okay? So even if you don't map the guest network to the guest SSID, let's say you have one network only, business network, and then you want to have two SSIDs, staff and the guests, you can still do that with one network. We are not gonna do that, but I mean, you can do that if you want, right? Now let's go to the authentication, and here we have the way to authenticate users using the Facebook password, payment to let them pay for something, for network access, or vouchers. Vouchers are good for the events. You can go here and generate the vouchers. Let's say I'm gonna delete this one. Let's say I want to generate, I don't know, wedding. Who's gonna charge for the Wi-Fi in wedding? But still, wedding, right? And I want to generate the 10 passwords, 10 vouchers, and each of them will be single use only, not multi-use, single use. I want them to be expired in 8 hours, for example. I want them to be able to download maximum of 1 gigabyte with the speed of 20 megabits up and down. You don't have to put this data here. It can be empty, but You can if you want to, right? I'm gonna do add, and that's it. Now, let's go to the vouchers here. No, actually, I have to click save. And now let's go to the vouchers and let's see. You see all these vouchers? Now, each of them are single use only. And if users connect using these credentials, this voucher, they will be able to gain the access for 8 hours, but the access will be restricted if they download more than gigabyte, and the speed, the bandwidth, is going to be restricted by 20 megabits no matter what amount of data is downloaded. It's going to be, anytime they're connected, they're going to have this limitation. And each of them is single use only, okay? And you don't have to have voucher if you don't want to. Let's say I don't want to have voucher. I want to have the same password for all the guests. Then I'll choose passwords here, and I'm going to choose some password. No, I don't know, like let's say YouTube 123. Right? That's going to be my password for this specific case. I'm going to click save, and that's it. Now, every time you connect to the Wi-Fi, the guest connects to the Wi-Fi, they'll have to enter the YouTube 123 to gain the access to the net. And this is how the captive portal works in short. Now, this is for the guests that go through the guest Wi-Fi. But what if, hear me out, what if there is a network, this network, guest network, right? And we want this guest network to assign to the specific switch ports. Let's say I have a layer 3 switch here, right? I want to have this second interface to be guest network right here. Because we did captive portal on the Wi-Fi, we don't have the same on the wired network. But guess what? If you go into networks and you click guests, you have zones. And if you choose zone hotspot, you'll have all the same benefits of the captive portal. So let's click apply, and now if I connect laptop to the wired switch, to this switch port 2, for example, to this guy here, right? I'll still have to go through the captive portal, and it doesn't matter that I'm connected through the cable. Now here, because we have double captive portal, you may think that you'll need to authenticate twice here, but no, that's not the case. One time is gonna be enough. And that's it for today. On the next phase 4, we are going to dive into firewall rules and access control, and it's going to be a little more advanced configuration than what we've done so far. So stay tuned.